In 2019, neuroscientists recorded the human striatum firing a reward signal exactly 40 seconds after the action that triggered it, and researchers still cannot account for how it knew which action to tag. 40 seconds. That's not a rounding error. In 40 seconds, a person speaks several sentences, makes multiple small choices, shifts their weight, glances across a room. And somewhere inside your skull, buried at the center of your brain, a structure the size of your thumb reached back through all of that noise retroactively and stamped one specific action. This one matters. Nobody can explain the mechanism. The striatum sits at the core of the basal ganglia, a dense cluster of tissue most textbooks describe as the brain's habit engine. It processes reward. It reinforces behavior. It learns what you want before you've finished wanting it. For most of the 20th century, that was the complete picture. Compact and tidy. The striatum received dopamine. Dopamine reinforced behavior. Behavior became habit. It explained addiction. It explained learning. It explained why you can drive a route you've driven 100 times while your mind is somewhere else entirely. The 40-second data broke that model quietly and permanently. Standard reinforcement theory demanded timing. A reward arrives, dopamine spikes at the synapse, the behavior immediately prior gets strengthened. Milliseconds of delay were acceptable. A second, maybe two, because synaptic signals weaken exponentially with time. The further you get from the moment of the action, the more the neural trace of that action dissolves into background noise. It becomes biologically indistinguishable from everything else that happened. 40 seconds makes the trace irrecoverable. Under every known model, the striatum should have lost the signal entirely. It didn't, consistently, across subjects, across independent labs that ran the same protocols expecting to disprove it. The striatum found the right action and tagged it even when the reward arrived nearly a minute later. The mechanism that would explain this, some kind of slow chemical echo, a synaptic placeholder, has never been isolated. But that is not the strangest part. In 1953, a 27-year-old man named Henry Molaison had both hippocampi surgically removed to stop debilitating seizures. The surgery succeeded. It also ended his capacity to form any new conscious memory. Every morning reset completely. Every person he met, he introduced himself to as though meeting them for the first time. He was lucid. He was articulate. And he had absolutely no idea where he was or what year it was. His striatum was untouched. Researchers tested Henry for the next 55 years. They gave him a mirror tracing task, drawing a star while watching only its reflection, a skill that improves through repetition and almost nothing else. Every session, Henry had no memory of attempting it. He believed it was new. He told the researchers so each time. He improved every day. His striatum was learning, filing information, building a skill, independent of any conscious experience, independent of any memory that Henry had access to. Now place that next to the 40-second data. The striatum can retroactively tag a single action from a window of dozens. The striatum can train a body whose owner has no awareness of being trained. It is running what amounts to a parallel version of you, evaluating, reinforcing, accumulating, on a track your conscious mind never touches. And when researchers ask what criteria it uses, which signals it prioritizes, how it decides what to keep and what to discard, the answer is that nobody knows. The dopamine signal it uses to mark behavior is chemically identical regardless of whether the behavior was intentional or accidental. It doesn't encode your reasons, it encodes the outcome. It just marks, this was followed by a reward, tag it. Researchers proposed that the striatum must be using a retroactive dopamine trace, a chemical residue that lingers in the synapse far longer than any current model allows for. They called it an eligibility trace. They found evidence it exists in rodents. In the human striatum, they have named it and cannot locate it. Other teams suggested the striatum wasn't tagging the action at all. It was tagging the gap, the difference between the outcome it predicted and the outcome it received. A larger surprise means a stronger signal. But that model requires the striatum to hold predictions, to maintain expectations about the future, which requires something that functions like anticipation, which requires something that functions like thought. In a structure with no architecture anyone has found to support thought, you've made hundreds of small decisions today. The striatum has been scoring every one of them against criteria that no experiment has ever fully decoded. Strengthening some patterns, quietly extinguishing others, running its own accounting in a language that 70 years of dissection, imaging, and electrode arrays has not translated. You believe you chose. The question nobody has answered, the one that gets quieter the deeper you push into the research, is which part of you was doing the choosing. And whether the part that's aware of making decisions is the part actually making them.